And thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled youmove.com.
September 21st. September 21st. Why do I keep repeating September 21st? Because that's when the Ocala residents have the privilege of helping determine how Ocala is governed. By voting, Ocala residents then have a voice in local issues. Every vote matters. Voting is a privilege. It's also your responsibility. If you don't vote, you give up the right to complain about the outcome. So what are you going to be doing on September 21st? You're going to go out and vote September 21st.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Help shape the youth of Marion County through the game of golf. Join fellow golfers in support of the 11th annual Marion County Juniors Golf Scholarship Tournament on Monday, September 27th at the prestigious Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. There'll be great prizes, goodie bags, even lunch at the clubhouse after the round. Don't miss your chance to play this renowned course with all its world-class replica holes while supporting a worthy cause. Sign up today by visiting MarionCountyJuniorGolf.com and help shape the youth of Marion County. Sponsorship opportunities still available.
Bonjour, and welcome to the French Riviera, full of dirty, rotten scoundrels like me. We are live on stage at Ocala Civic Theater now through September 19th. It is a musical comedy tale of the movie you know and love. We sing, we dance, we steal from the ladies. We do the hustle, all in a day. No? Call 352-236-2274 and get your tickets to the musical Dirty, Rotten Scoundrels at the OCT. Au revoir.
Hey, Mid-Florida, have you checked this week's ad for Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens? Here's a sneak peek for some excellent specials for early fall. First off, fall veggies. They've arrived. Too many to name here just to know if you want veggies. Bob has them in the jumbo 4-pack, just $4.99. Here's a hot special. It's Bob's favorite, Mexican firebush. Hummingbirds love them, and they're only $19.99. Check out those fall garden mums, many colors. You can get 6 for just $29.99. And that azalea closeout continues. All azaleas, large and small, dozens of colors, are 50% off. It's a great time to plant trees, and you always get Bob's super low prices. Plus, when you buy one, you get a second one for half price. So don't forget to check the ad, then head on over to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, and the same blooming location for almost 70 years.
That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here every Tuesday bringing you her knowledge on anything gardening, plant life, growth, lawns, bushes, trees. You get a chance to pick the brain of a master gardener by calling 622-9622. It's your learning session. You can ask any question you want about gardening, and she's right here to answer it for you. You don't have to Google it or anything. You just ask Carol Ann.
Just ask me, and if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, and I'll try to Google it. I don't know if I managed to Google it while we're on the air, but we'll get some answers for you, by the next show or post it onto the In the Garden page.
What did we do before? Oh, yeah, that's right. We resulted to looking at the almanac.
Well, I actually had I used to carry with me, and I called it my Bible.
The almanac.
No, it wasn't. Well, I had the almanac too, but I had it was a Southern Living book.
Oh yeah, Southern Living
It
put
was
out the
it was
book
about
of
a
plants
it was a fantastic book, and it was great knowledge. I mean, I probably read quite a bit of that book, and I mean, it's all just short little things: picture of plant, description of plant, all that, and it's like.
And it was a book, about 500-page book.
Oh yeah, at least
Right.
maybe more than that, but yeah, fantastic.
I remember
fantastic,
my
yeah.
mother, the Rose woman, had her
I'm sure, yeah.
Southern Living book.
And that's because that was
it
know,
had
and
bugs,
I mean,
pictures, pictures
had
of bugs and what to expect.
everything. And there are a lot of publications out there that you can still get that are Florida publications. I mean, and that's, I mean, honestly, the Southern Living's great, though there's still stuff in that we can't grow because guess what? We're Florida. We're not a southern state. We're Florida.
Yeah, things that grow in Mississippi,
Don't-
Alabama, and Georgia.
Texas and that, yeah, get Carolinas.
Remember, Atlanta's 1,100, 1,200 feet above sea level and gets
Right.
cold.
Right. And even coastal Georgia, Carolina, and that gets cold.
Yeah.
So, there are a lot of Florida publications out there. You can get them through Extension and even through the UF bookstore. So, go, and the bookstores locally, Amazon also, just you're
Here's
looking
another
for
resource.
Florida.
Your local library has
Your
a lot of the
local
books.
library, you can borrow them in case you're not ready. You're not sure if you really want to own that book. You can go through it, look at
Here's
it,
a
and
novel
then go
idea. Use a library card and borrow it.
borrow it for I think you get 2 weeks or
2
so.
weeks, yeah.
And
by the way, a library card, free.
yep, free.
Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning again. This is
Yeah.
Stu with a quick one.
Sure.
See, across the street, I got a neighbor that's got. She asked me, and I said, I'll find out about it. She's got a rose bush. It's about maybe 2 foot high. It's kind of scraggly looking, but it had white blossoms, a few. Would it be a good idea to prune that down so that when it comes back, it'll be healthier?
Is you said it's only about 2 feet high?
Yeah, it's not real high. It's 2.5 foot high.
Okay.
It's kind of
Did
scrawny
it?
looking.
I was gonna say, I'm just trying to figure out which kind it is. Did it have like little tiny flowers on it? Smaller than what you think
No,
of.
I think it was a good-sized white blossom.
Okay.
When it had them.
Okay. Because I'm not sure which one that is. Usually, I know with like our knockouts and our drift roses, our carpet roses, and things like that. Which your drifts and your carpets get 18 inches, 2 feet tall. Those ones we can actually prune at almost any time. Same with the knockouts, but the knockouts get much larger. Your other roses were normally we prune out dead canes, any dead plant material at any time. Take that out at any time. Take it way back in there. But on the rest of it, we usually wait on those just because the flowering does occur on new growth and that their bloom season is more spring versus, the knockouts and things like that bloom pretty much year round. They'll flush, they'll bloom.
But your
they'll
traditional
stop. Yeah, but
roses-
your traditional roses are usually much more seasonal.
My mom would always prune hers in late January, early
I was
February.
going to say sometimes we'll go even like mid-December kind of thing. So I'd probably give it another month or two before I do any pruning. Now, if it still has a few flowers on it, when that flower is spent, instead of just snipping off the flower, come down further. That's the best way to keep roses being nice and thick, is that when you cut off, when you're deadheading, you don't just take the flower off, you actually come back down to a segment of leaves where it has 5 leaves on that stem.
And you cut
And
just
cut
underneath,
there, just
right
cut- yeah.
underneath it.
Yeah, how close to the ground should I prune it?
Next in the springtime, I'd probably give it at least 10 inches off the, give it 10 inches to come back from.
Would it be a good idea to fertilize it now to help it along?
A shovel full of black cow they'd probably
Okay.
benefit. Yeah, I don't know if I'd give it too much regular fertilizer, the black cow, and maybe say a half dose. Yeah, I mean it's September. We're usually fertilizing now, but a good shovel full. If it has mulch, pull that mulch back. Throw a shovelful or two of black cow. Roses love black cow.
Yes, they do.
They love the manure.
I've hauled more black cow bags than I ever want to remember. Mother.
Yeah. And another thought is if she had any insect problems, I am a believer in those systemic insecticide fertilizer products that are out there. I know the BioAdvance is one brand. There's a couple other brands out there depending on where you shop. that you can find that have that systemic insecticide, some of them with a systemic fungicide in them, and putting some of that down as well. It's usually like a capful per plant with something like that. It's a slow release, so it's going to last for an extended time.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'll let my neighbor know what you said, and
Sure.
We'll follow your instructions. And let's hope we have a nice-looking plant next year.
Yes. I'm
Thanks
sure
for the
she
call,
will.
Hugh.
Yep.
You know, I don't think it can be said enough, and it's one flower I know quite a bit about.
Yeah.
Because my mother grew championship
tons of-
roses,
yeah.
and when I was a kid, when she was out in the garden, if she needed somebody to tote stuff to the garbage and everything,
It was
that
you.
was me.
Yep, that's what a son is for.
But the one thing that you said that I don't think enough people understand how important it really is.
Yeah.
Is any dead stuff that is growing
Yeah.
on that bush, the bush is still trying to feed that dead
It's-
stuff.
right.
Because it's trying.
You're right. It's and that dead stick just isn't attractive.
No,
And so
and
if
it
you
makes
cut
it look
that
scraggly.
off, and so if you cut that dead stuff off, you're going to encourage some new growth to come
Right.
in. And with roses, each time you prune a rose, the next piece that comes out is half the size of what you just pruned from. So anytime you're pruning, just snipping that flower off the
Does
top,
no good.
It's not really that beneficial to the plant. Yes, it keeps the plant bigger, but you really need to come down into some hardier part of the plant so that you get a nice thick stem coming off of that.
And you gave the exact, my mother would always say, make sure, boy, when you go to snip that, because she would let us snip some of that.
Right.
Make sure, boy, when you go to snip that, you're snipping underneath 5 leaves.
Right.
That
right.
was her
come down
cutoff.
to the, come down
That was
to
her
the
cutoff.
next right. Come
5
down to the
leaves.
next one and go ahead and snip that. And you can even directionalize on that. Is what side is that 5 leaf on that stem, because they're alternate leaves. And so if you need it to grow out, not in, so it
do
doesn't
the-
grow. So you go to the one and cut just above that one so that your growth is going out that direction. So you can actually pay attention to how that's growing and get that to do
There's
what you want.
so many things that you have to do to make a rose bush. And a rose bush,
but it's
they're
not
very easy.
that.
People
but
think
it's
you can
not
kill a
that
rose
hard,
bush
yeah.
real easy. You got to work at killing a rose bush.
You do, because just to relate a small story from when I was a kid. I mean, I guess this is part of when I started to get into plants a little bit. There was a little miniature rose growing on the side of our porch that my dad, if he could get that mower over something,
He was
it
mowing
was
that
gone.
rose. He
It
was
was
mowing
gone.
that rose bush down. Yeah.
So I asked my mom, I said, I've never seen it bloom.
It's because your
And
dad
my
keeps
dad
mowing
keeps mowing it over. And I said, well, what can I do to stop that? And she says, well, get out all the grass. Back when metal milk crates existed.
Right. Uh-huh.
Put the metal milk crate off, and I took out every bit of grass that was around that because I
So
knew
there was no
my
reason
father,
for the
there was
lawnmower
no
to go
reason
there.
for the lawnmower, and I knew my father would not pick up that milk crate to mow it over.
Right.
Yeah, that was, you could put something in front of it. He wasn't going to stop and pick it up. Yeah, so
Right.
if you, we kept the lily of the valley, because up north you could grow lily of the valley with a piece of pipe, in front
Right.
of that. He wasn't going to move that pipe to go mow them over.
Certainly.
And yeah, my mom had a larger rose bush on the end of by the patio where a pole was for the awning roof, because he couldn't get the mower
Look
up
at how
close
great
enough.
you are. You had a little
Yeah.
rose bush on one side. You had a little rose bush on the
And
other.
it- yeah.
I had 70 of them. Arranged in a garden style.
Yes. But-
With 2x4s and posts so that they
Right,
would
and
grow
everything,
straight,
yes,
and with sprinklers that sat on there and would create rain for the 70 rose bushes.
But it was
There may be a
quite
reason I don't like gardening.
See, I still do, and I handle the roses.
See?
It just looks like you've been in a cat
Think about
fight,
that.
that's
Think
all.
about that. You
Yeah.
and I.
Yeah, I
You
tried
love
to
gardening,
say, yeah.
and I don't like gardening
Right.
for the exact same reason.
Right.
Roses.
But it was funny because that next year it bloomed, and my dad goes, "Oh, it does that." Yeah,
Then it
yeah,
was safe.
it does,
Then
and
it was safe.
it was safe. I kept my milk crate over it, and I kept all the grass and weeds out from around it, and so it
You
did
did
its
your
thing.
job.
I did what I needed to do, and the little thing just did its thing all by itself. And
See, I was a bad brother, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
My sister, my younger sister, she tells this story all the time. She would always plant corn.
okay,
My dad would give her corn seeds. She'd
Yeah,
plant
she'd
it anywhere in the
plant
yard.
it,
And I'd see it coming up. Right over it. Right over
Oh,
it.
that's
The
just-
push
yeah.
mower would go right over it. So one day, she realizes that there's a dirt little plot,
Mm-hmm.
probably 2 foot wide by 8 foot long, right behind the grill.
Okay.
Behind my dad's grill.
Okay.
Nothing can get back there.
No.
And that's where Dad would dump the charcoal and everything.
Right.
So this soil was good, rich soil and everything.
She planted in there.
She planted in there. I weed eated it.
Oh. You're so mean.
I was a horrible brother.
That is horrible. That is horrible.
You know what? She's a tough girl now
yes,
because
I'm
I was
sure,
her brother.
I'm sure.
Tough girl.
Yep.
Never grew any corn.
But you mentioned corn.
I have a question about corn.
Yes.
That's why it's a great
segue. Yeah.
I have a question about corn. Dr. Richard Cardinale.
Yeah.
Who is a great historian.
Right.
And I'm understanding he's a very accomplished gardener.
Okay.
But he never asked me questions about history.
No, because you.
But he always asked me questions about gardening to ask you. And I don't know why he doesn't ask me questions about history. Him and I. I mean, he's Dr. Cardinale.
Right.
I'm not a doctor because I refused to learn 2 foreign languages. I wanted to be a doctor of history, but I stopped one area short of it. Right.
Yeah.
So you'd think we'd have great conversation about history.
No.
We have great conversation about gardening.
There you go.
And his conversation now is about corn. He has corn,
Mm-hmm.
and he says he uses 7 dust to try to get rid of varmint.
Right.
And it doesn't seem to be very effective.
Not doing
Why
too
is
good.
7 dust not effective around corn?
I'm not a big fan of 7 dust, for one, because it's not a. When you apply it, it doesn't target because it does dust and go across.
Right.
So it may be ending up on stuff you don't want it to end up on and going after the bees. Most of the time, the pests for corn are down in the middle. They're down in that whirl of the leaves.
Right.
And so what you've got to do is protect that. And once that pollen, once it decides to tassel, then you've got to be careful because you don't really want anything on there. They are wind pollinated, but bees do come and visit that as well. They don't really get down inside the whirl of leaves until
But bad creatures do get down
bad
there.
creatures, right? You get some of those corn borers and stuff will get down in there. So whatever I would do, and I think my best year with corn was actually while that plant was growing, was I used spinosad, which is.
Is that a liquid?
It's a liquid. It is toxic to bees, though it's an organic product or a safer product. Safer products can also be detrimental to bees and other pollinators and other beneficials. But I would spray right down, just a couple squirts
in the stalk,
down into that stalk, and I don't know. I did it every maybe 2 times. Because once it got big enough, then the tassel would start to come. And as the ear of corn begins to form, then you're putting like mineral oil down inside where the silks are to keep them from boring down inside.
Really,
that
mineral
ear
oil
of
will stop
Yeah,
that.
mineral oil down into that, and each and every little ear, or enough of them to keep them, to where you're going to get a decent crop. But at least that kept that borer out of the center so that it would tassel properly. And so, it doesn't have to be spinosad. It doesn't, if you've got, I think the pyrethrins or permethrin would work just as well down in there. Your insecticidal soaps, maybe. I'd be careful, again, if it's too hot with the neem oils. Neem oil might actually be a longer lasting because it does hold a little bit of water in there, and would, hold that into place. So a little experimentation, but the 7, liquid 7, couple spritzes down in there to keep them, because the outer leaves can be chewed and it can be okay.
It's the inner.
It's the inside. You need that tassel. You need to keep just as a small example, a tomato plant can lose 85% of its leaf material and still produce a great crop. So, a lot of times we just have to realize that a blemish to the outside of the plant is not going to hurt the quality of the plant. We just got to keep the fruiting bodies going properly. So, read directions on, and probably maybe look at the liquid 7, or if you still have the powdered, put it, you go to the Dollar Tree and you get the 2-pack of the empty ketchup mustard squirty bottles, and put your 7 in there where you can poof it down in there. And that way, that's going to protect that possibly for a little bit longer than, say, one of the organics, only because the organics don't have a long residual. Read your pre-harvest intervals. They're all on the label. As my mantra
read
is,
the directions.
Read and follow label directions. You know, you see me, I'm apt to break out a marker and circle things for you as you're purchasing that, so you know where to find them later.
Good morning. You're on with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning, son.
I'm Sonny calling.
Yeah.
I have my crepe myrtles, and the larger one is a tree.
Yeah.
And I've noticed leaves are coming off, and they're already red and brown. Now, is that normal?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to lose leaves here pretty soon. They may have had some aphids earlier in the season, because crepe myrtles have their very own aphid. It doesn't spread to anything else, but sometimes it'll make the leaves look black and sticky and things, and can cause a little bit of stress to the plant. But yeah, it's not a big deal if it's losing some of the leaves right now. Maybe just a little reaction to some of the stresses. We've been hot and we got dry, and then we get a ton of rain, and we dry out again and we get a ton of rain. So we've had a little bit of a stressful summer for some of the plants.
Well,
so I wouldn't be overly concerned.
Yeah, the tree's about 20 years old, and it's about 20 feet high.
Yeah, I wouldn't be overly concerned.
Okay, I was just curious because, is this a good time to start fertilizing?
You can go ahead.
You
can go ahead and fertilize around them, yes. And if any of them struggled on blooming, next spring make sure you do a bloom booster granulated. I'm a bigger fan of granulated, but right now a simple 666 or 10-10-10 for your landscape plants is fine.
Read the directions.
Yeah, read the directions on how much you ought to use for the size of the plant, so that you give them enough. You know, you don't want to cheat them out. You don't want to cheat them out of it. You want to give them a whole bowl of Cheerios, not just a handful. So yeah, do like that. And then in springtime, if your bloom, if they struggled a little bit blooming this year, you didn't think they had the blooms as well as you would have liked. Come March, go ahead and do that then.
Right.
Thanks for the call, Sonny.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
Real quick, so an update on the citrus trees.
Okay.
The ruby red grapefruit, I told you was flowering.
Right.
I had to go break off literally 14 little green bulbs that were going to be grapefruit.
They were.
But
it's too late. It's too late.
So
There's no way it's going to mature them. Right.
So I broke them off. The Myers lemon tree, the leaves have all turned yellow.
Oh.
Yeah, the leaves are a yellow color instead of a rich green color. Ooh. And I don't know why, because it's not been overwatered. We gave it the fertilizer.
Right.
But all the leaves are a bright yellow, almost like a lemon yellow.
Wow.
Instead of green.
Yeah, that's not a happy tree.
No,
Did you do the?
We did the citrus.
Spray. You did the spray on one, and that should have really just perked them right on up.
The green one, when it did, that's right after that's when the grapefruit tree started showing the flowers and everything.
Right. Check the label on that and see whether or not you can do that one again. I'm not real familiar on how often you can do that, but if you went ahead,
it's all yellow leaved and no flowers or anything.
That's
now
not
full
happy.
leaf, full cage of leaves and everything.
But with them turning yellow, I'm concerned that it's lacking. Something's going wrong with it. I may have
and the soil, literally, they're 6 feet apart, so the soil's the exact same.
Right. But you know what? That's not necessarily true.
Well, I know that the soil they brought with them's the same.
Right.
They used to put in.
Right. But the root system. Right. But drainage underneath there and different things can vary a little bit.
And it's right on the ditch line, so it drains. It's concerning to me because one is vibrant dark green leaves.
Right.
And the other one has yellow leaves.
It hasn't sunk down or anything since planting.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll have to look into that on that. But read the label on your topical fertilization kind of thing and see whether or not that foliar spray.
Because
see whether or not it can be used again.
By the way, the most important of the two trees, the Myers lemon or the ruby red,
is the lemon.
Because you know who wants the lemon tree?
Mama
wants the lemon tree.
She does.
I like the grapefruit. She likes grapefruit too.
Right, but hey, you need the lemon for your beverages and fish.
No, she wants it. She uses.
Oh yeah.
and she wants those lemons.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Myers lemons being so
nice,
big and
nice,
everything.
big and juicy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm concerned about that Myers lemon tree.
Right.
And it's it's got a good root system. When you take it and you try to, it doesn't lean. It it's firmly in the ground and everything.
Right.
It's just yellow leaved.
Just yellow leaves. Yeah, I'll have to look up on that, see whether or not there's just a little something. If it's just because that's still struggling after, and it's nearly a year.
Right, and it's good and bushy and everything.
Right. Just really
yellow.
big, just yellow.
And it was earlier in the year, it came out green.
Right.
And then they've gradually become, a vibrant bright yellow.
Wow. Send me a picture of it.
I will. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you.
I posted something, or I shared something from the UF Master Gardener, Marion County Master Gardener's Facebook page the other day that the plant sale, the fall plant sale, not the big event.
Is that Maxine Hunter's plant Facebook page?
No. Well, yeah, I guess you could say.
She's the Master Gardener for Marion County, isn't she?
Well, it's a Master Gardener. That might actually be our actual group posting it. But the fall plant sale is coming up, and of course now it's October the 2nd this year from 8 to noon. This is just the plant sale. This is the plants that the Master Gardeners in their propagation area have grown on or grown up from cuttings and things like that have come from their own gardens, their own personal gardens, or trees that were purchased small.
This is a fundraising event?
It's a fundraising event so that it helps put on the other community events that they have throughout the year, the different speakers bureaus and things like that. There will be Master Gardeners on hand to answer questions.
At the Extension Center?
At the Extension Center. It's over there by the
Livestock Pavilion.
The Livestock Pavilion. Right behind the Extension Center offices is where the greenhouses are.
Right.
And that's where it'll be. It is cash or check only. They don't have ways of using your credit or debit cards, so come with money. Ask questions. There will be the ability to.
I ought to show up with my square. charge a little over the fee and make a little money on you guys.
There'll be the mobile plant clinic there. The Melaleuca mulch, which is the one that the Extension office sells. That's to help to eliminate the Melaleuca down the Everglades. You can purchase it then, you get your voucher, and you come back during the week to pick it up. So, I'll mention it again.
October when now?
October the 2nd. It is a Saturday morning. No pets, please. Leave your pets home. You can't carry plants if you've got to deal with.
Well, then
with
Susan can't bring me then.
You can carry stuff. So
I can't carry stuff.
You can carry stuff. You can be the.
Oh no,
with
with my back. No, I can't. No, my back, my shoulders, my feet. No, I can't. I'll bring Matt Gibbs. He can carry stuff for me. Because he's not very busy.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Carol-Ann, how can people find you?
In the Garden Facebook group page, just ask to be a member, and I'll let you on in, or find me at work down there at Lowe's and Lady Lake.
Lowe's and Lady Lake.
Yep.
Carol-Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol-Ann Baldwin, joins us every Tuesday right here on WOCA, The Source. Carol-Ann, talk to you next Tuesday.
Yep, sure will.
Coming up next, Matt Gibbs, Sunrise Auto repair with personal care from Sunrise Auto, right here on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is the price of consumer goods and services purchased by households, measured over time. The August report released moments ago indicate inflation continues as the cost of living in America digs deeper into your money. The Labor Department report shows the CPI rose 0.1% for the month and 4% for the year. That means the 5.3% annual increase still keeps inflation at its worst numbers in 13 years. U.S. taxpayers are pouring millions of more dollars into Afghanistan. Dan Naraki reports.
The U.S. announced Monday that it will send about $64 million in humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. The State Department says it will come from the U.S. Agency for International Development and will be distributed by the UN and independent aid groups. The announcement comes a day after the United Nations issued an emergency call for aid from the international community to stop famine and a public health crisis in Afghanistan.
USA Radio News.
You take steps to stay healthy when at the pharmacy picking up vitamins or filling a prescription.
May I help you?
Take another healthy step right now and ask the pharmacist how Prevnar 13 can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease. If you're 65 or older, a trip to the pharmacy is a lot more pleasant than a trip to the hospital because of pneumococcal pneumonia. Help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13 valent conjugate vaccine, diphtheria CRM 197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Stop by the pharmacy today and ask about Prevnar 13. Learn more at Prevnar13.com. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a weakened immune system may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com.
The type of melons known for their sweet, enticing flavor and scent. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
I love living in a rural community where neighbors help neighbors, even if we don't always agree on sports teams, politics, or the COVID-19 vaccines. We all have our opinions. Getting vaccinated is your choice, and no one can make your mind up for you. Talk to your healthcare provider about your questions to help make a decision that's right for you. GetVaccineAnswers.org has the latest information to help you decide. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, let's sing Old MacDonald.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had wetlands, native plants, wildlife habitat, windbreaks, contours.
Conservation is growing some wonderful things on America's farms and ranches, but it has put a new wrinkle in an old song. Conservation, there's something in it for you. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Conservation Service.
There are two types of muskmelons that you can try growing. Eastern muskmelons have deep ribs on the skin. The western varieties have smooth skins. Muskmelons don't tolerate cold, yet have a long growing season. It's important to look at the maturity dates when choosing a variety. Make sure you have a long enough season. Eden's Gem is a popular heirloom variety that has green instead of orange flesh. Sarah's Choice have a super creamy sweet flavor that melts in your mouth and smells really good. Hannah's Choice is another hybrid and has a rich, sweet taste with a high brick sugar rating of 13. And Prescott Fond Blanc melon is an heirloom variety that is downright ugly with its warty, thick skin. A true cantaloupe, Prescott Fond Blanc hails from France